Thanks for joining us. Madison's new police chief sees opportunities for growth and change in his department. A new report out this week could help him accomplish that.
The annual accountability report has some important facts, but they should also be taken with a grain of salt. Our Amanda Quintana joins us now with more on what issues stood out to Chief Barnes.
It's important to remember that Chief Barnes was just sworn in, so he wasn't here for all of 2020. But when looking at the statistics in the accountability report, there are some things that stand out to him. The first is an increase in car crashes.
One thing that we do more than any other profession, I think, is drive. And I think it's important that we continue to train for the way we drive.
All that driving means a higher risk for squad car crashes. There were 55 of them last year compared to 48 the year before and 46 in 2018. But the report shows falling numbers in a different category. Complaints against MPD were down from more than 200 each of the last 3 years to 174 in 2020. Chief Sean Barnes says it's important to remember the context, especially since the pandemic meant quarantines.
The answer that I would like to give you is that, our officers, they always go out and they always treat people with respect and are professional. And I think that's the reason that the complaints go down. But it could be the less frequency. It could be that the calls were more of an emergency nature.
That could also be why use of force was down, but then another 2020 anomaly, the protests.
Whenever we have to use a use of force of any kind, it really is a signal that we failed in some way. And when I say we, I'm talking about society. I'm not just talking about the police.
During the 2 weekends of significant unrest last summer, police used chemical spray 104 times, more than any other weapon. Officers used batons 56 times.
Certainly, if you're trying to protect yourself or you're trying to protect other people, you're justified in using those.
But those 2 weekends don't represent the whole year.
I know people want to point to civil unrest all the time, but that's not the whole story. I think we did grow as a community. People realized that the police, they still had to come to work.
Chief Barnes hopes that 2021 numbers can truly show that improvement. He was in North Carolina in 2020. He says protesters there had a different mindset than those here in Madison. Barnes credits the Madison way for helping, letting people protest, say what they need to say, and move on.